Salvete discipuli. Hello, 8th grade, remote 8th grade students. Again, I have no idea why the video screen of me is so glitchy, but just pay no attention to my face. Focus on what's on the screen. So this is going to be our part 1 video for controversia, which is our first passage in stage 10. So last week you should have done the model sentences. And so check those out if you haven't already. And then we are moving on to this first passage in this chapter. It's kind of a long one, so hang in there. We've got 2 passages for you to translate this week. So controversia and then statuae. And statuae is going to be on Google Classroom. So no video for that one, but just kind of follow along for this one. So controversia we have in this chapter. It's kind of like a verb review, so just continuing to try and strengthen your knowledge of your verb endings and the tenses and everything. And then we're also seeing our first and second person plurals, so the we and the y'all forms of our verbs. So we saw that in our model sentences, right? We had the we Romans are this, and you Romans do, or you Greeks do this, and things like that. So we're going to start seeing, or we're going to be seeing a lot of our we's and y'alls. So just keep that in mind. And again, that's typically going to be with dialogue happening there. So let's take a look, and this one does go on to the next page. So we're going to figure this out. Always a hassle of zooming in and figuring out where my face should be. It doesn't really matter because I'm all glitchy anyway. So we don't want to zoom in too much. There we go. Let's make me nice and small. All right. Over here, we've got controversia. Let's take a look at some of our glossed vocab, and then I'll read through the Latin, and then you will translate and watch part 2 to correct your translation. Y'all know the drill by now. All right, so we have controversia. Controversia is our Latin word for a debate. This might look familiar to our English word controversy. We have ibant. Ibant means they were going. This is the imperfect tense of our verb eo, ire, iitus. So interesting verb there, verb to go. Rhetor. Rhetor is going to be used to mean teacher, similar to our English word rhetoric. Longa. Longa is an adjective meaning long. Looks just like the word long, so that one's easy. Dokebat. This is our verb to teach. This is the imperfect tense. And remember, imperfect tense, we typically translate it as was or were verbing. It can also be translated as used to verb. So that's what's happening here. Used to teach. Hunk is this. This is from our adjective hic, haec, hoc. So this is the accusative, honk. Meliores quam. So we have meliores. This is the other grammar we learned. I forgot about that. We talked about our adjectives, comparative adjectives. So you have different degrees of adjectives. So comparative adjectives are used to compare things. So we have, typically they will have that ior and then quam coming after it. So meliores quam means better than. All right, and then down here we've got sententiam. Sententiam means opinion. This is one of our new vocab words. Argumentum. Argumentum is proof, related to our word argument. Barbaros. Barbaros. This book translates them as barbarians, which it can mean. Originally, this word just meant stranger or like outsider, someone who wasn't from the area. But it comes to have more of that meaning of barbarian, which is where the word barbarian comes from. Imperium is another one of our new vocab words, meaning empire. Pacem. This is the accusative. Pax. Pacis, our word for peace. Servamos, this is our verb servo, servare, meaning to like protect or to save. And here it's going to mean they are giving it to you as keep or preserve. Same idea. It's to kind of keep something safe or protected. So servamos, and this is the we protect or we preserve form of this. Architecti, builders or architects, related word architect, there we go. Pontes, pontes is our word for bridges. Ubique, ubique means everywhere. Edificamus means we build. Major is greater or better or bigger. Or sorry, greater or bigger. Better is melior. So major quam is greater than. So another comparative adjective there. Postremo is lastly. Move me down there. And then dei is a plural for gods. Dant, they give. And then ignavi, adjective meaning lazy. And then just really quickly over here, we have dende, meaning then. Surrexit, meaning he or she got up. I think we've seen this verb in a couple passages. Miserandi, pathetic or pitiful. I think like miserable. Imitatores, imitators. Auctores is creators, and then libros is books, or libros is books, short I, not a long I. Long I is more for free. All right, let us read through the Latin of this passage. Again, kind of just follow along, listen to the story, try to pick out what is going on as far as vocabulary, and then also grammar and endings, word endings, verb tenses, things like that. So, controversia, the debate is happening. Quintus amicum Graecum habebat. Amicus erat Alexander. Quintus et Alexander ad palaestram ibant, ubi rhetor Graecus erat. Hic rhetor erat Theodorus, et prope palaestram habitabat. In palaestra erat porticus longa, ubi Theodorus juvenes docebat. Postquam ad hanc porticum venerunt, Alexander et Quintus rhetorem audiverunt. Rhetor juvenibus controversiam nuntiabat. Graeci sunt meliores quam Romani. Quintus vehementer exclamavit. Minime, nos Romani sumus meliores quam Graeci. Theodorus, postquam hanc sententiam audivit, respondit, Haec est tua sententia, nos tamen non sententiam quaerimus, nos argumentum quaerimus. Tum Quintus rhetori et amicis argumentum explicavit. Nos Romani sumus fortissimi, nos barbaros ferocissimos superamus, nos imperium maximum habemus, nos pacem servamus. Vos Graeci semper contentiones habetis, vos semper estis turbulenti. Nos sumus architecti optimi, nos vias et pontes ubique aedificamus. Urbs Roma est maior quam omnes urbes. Postremo, nos Romani diligenter laboramus. Dei igitur nobis imperium maximam dant. Vos Graeci estis ignavi. Vos numquam laboratis. Dei vobis nihil dant. So this is all part of Quintus's explanation or argument as to why the Romans are better than the Greeks. All right, and so now we're going to continue over here. Postquam Quintus hanc sententiam explicavit, juvenes Pompeiani vehementer plauserunt et eum laudaverunt. Dende Alexander surrexit, juvenes Pompeiani tacuerunt, et Alexandrum intente spectaverunt. Vos Romani estes miserandi, vos imperium maximum habetis, sed vos estis imitatores. Nos Graeci sumus auctores. Vos Graeca statua spectatis, vos Graecos libros legitis, Graecos rhetores auditis. Vos Romani estis ridiculi, quod estis Graeciores quam nos Graeci. Juvenes, postquam Alexander sententiam suam explicavit, riserunt. Tum Theodorus nuntiavit. Alexander victor est. Argumentum optimum explicavit. So this is a fun argument. So this is Alexander's sort of rebuttal to Quintus's statement that the Romans are better than the Greeks. And he's explaining why no, the Greeks are in fact better, according to him. And he wins the argument. So go ahead and translate this passage. Take a look at use this gloss vocab to help you. Use your explore the story feature on Cambridge Elevate to help you with other unfamiliar vocab. Really make sure you spend some time studying the stage 10 vocab before you get into this, because that'll help a bit too. Pay close attention to your verb tenses and to your verb endings so you know who is doing the verb, right? Because like I said, in this chapter, we're going to be seeing a lot of these first and second person plural forms of verbs, which we've seen before, but not as commonly. So these are a lot of our we and y'all endings for verbs. So our mus and tis endings for our verbs. So if a verb ends in mus, M-U-S, that means we are doing the verb, and tis is going to be y'all are doing the verb. And it's stays with mus and tis with all the other tenses as well. It's just going to be bamus or batis, or imus or istis for perfect. So pay attention to those. Keep an eye out for who your subjects are. The nos and wos pronouns will help you with the recognizing the verbs as well. I think vocab is probably going to be the biggest challenge. There's a lot of vocab in here that we haven't necessarily learned as part of our vocabulary, but that we have seen in previous passages. So you might need to look up a few words. Please use your Cambridge Elevate dictionary rather than Google Translate. Google Translate is not reliable with Latin. So use your Cambridge Elevate dictionary or the Explore the Story feature in Cambridge Elevate, where you can click on the words to get definitions. So that should help you a lot. All right, long one, I know. Translate this passage. Take your time, right? I'm giving you guys until next Friday to get these done, just because I may or may not actually get to meet with my in-class 8th graders next week due to testing. So I'm kind of giving you guys a little bit of extra time to get some work done, especially because there's a lot of work this week. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I gave you guys a little extra work to do this week, is because we may or may not have class time next week. So I wanted to kind of give you guys stuff so you have the 2 weeks to get it done. So translate this passage, email me if you have any questions. But otherwise, once you finish translating, go ahead and check out part 2, where we go over the translation together. All right, Valete discipuli, I will see you in part 2.